We're fixing to leave to go to the Rattlesnake Roundup in Texas in Sweetwater. I'm going to be making a video, and this is my first attempt to make a major video and put it on YouTube, and we'll see what happens on this. But anyway, why don't you come and join us and see what I see, because this will be my first time to attend one of these rattlesnake roundups. So you're invited. Come along, and let's have some fun and see what we can learn from this, okay? Well, we just arrived at Sweetwater here, and we're getting ourselves something to eat. We're at Whataburger restaurant, and as soon as our room is cleaned up at the motel where we checked in, then we'll go in and move in. Tomorrow is supposed to be the beginning of the Rattlesnake Roundup, and this will be the first time I've ever gone to one of these. So it's going to be interesting. So we're going to have something to eat, and we'll just pick up on the video from this point on. Okay, we just got here to the Rattlesnake Roundup, and we just parked the truck, and now we're walking our way up to get inside and see what the roundup is all about. Okay, we're gonna go and pay money to get inside. As you see, a lot of people are coming. Man, the wind is cold. Whew. Okay. Alright. Okay, we're in the Coliseum. This is the World's Rattlesnake Roundup here in Sweetwater, Texas. And it's interesting if you haven't been here. You take time to come in, and you're free to walk around. You can ask questions, talk to them. You can watch what they do. That spot right there is where they exhibit the rattlesnakes, and they give you history on it. Over there, that's where they do the live skinning. Now they ain't live, they're dead. And come over here, this right here, they'll actually give you demonstrations.
So, Mom, why are you not recording?
I don't know.
That's the hardest part, spinning around that beach.
Yeah.
Still wiggling.
Okay, we're done. Let's go
He
home
goes
and
into a food safe crack bag. And then it all goes up there. The kid comes to me.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
Food goes somewhere else.
Hey, you're next.
down there. Somewhere. And you see, they get wet. You can see the colors. If you want to, it's what you're paying for. Like boots and stuff like that out of the skin, belts.
And he does it official too. He has a charter book that does that. Oh yeah. I made an investment inside here.
I want to welcome you to Sweetwater, Texas, the world's largest rattlesnake roundup. We're trying to get things rolling, everything's starting to time. And David Sager will be over at Lancashire here in just a few minutes.
Okay, this is Sweetwater. My name's David Sager. I've got Scott Caglin here with me, and our job here is to teach you a little bit about rattlesnakes. What I have here are Western Diamondbacks. It's pretty easy to tell Western. They all have this black and white area by the rattle, what we call it. We call that black and white a coon tail, like a raccoon. And rattlesnakes are pit vipers, which means right in front of his face on either side, he has an extra little hole right below his nostril that makes him a pit viper. And those pits enable him to find his prey in the darkest night. And they're sensitive enough that a little bitty mouse coming down the trail puts enough heat off of his body that this guy can find him and nail him. And he doesn't have ears, so he doesn't actually hear that little mouse coming. But his nerves and his belly are sensitive enough, he can feel him coming down the trail from his footprint. Like I say, on the darkest night. And they're pit vipers. See if I can make them show his teeth.
I'm not fixing it. You're in your house. I want you to quit
And his fangs are hollow like a hypodermic needle. And they rest against the roof of his mouth. And when he needs them, he pulls them down into place. And he can move one or the other. Doesn't have to be both at the same time. And since they're hollow, like I say, all the venom is in a gland right behind his eyes. And he actually squeezes with his muscle to shoot that venom out. And he can shoot it like a water gun. But since they're hollow, when he hits a little animal, a rat or a rabbit, a lot of times they'll snap off in the animal. And when they do, he has another set right behind me that'll pull down generally within a few hours. If he loses that set a few days later, he'll get another set come in. So you can't defang a rattlesnake.
The other day.
You say you can tell the age by the number. Rattle, is that true?
No. He gets a rattle every time he eats and sheds, so every time he sheds, he drinks. So if he ate good that year, he might get 3 rattles. That's how he's smelling, trying to.
Really rough, ain't it? Okay, I'm telling you, these are Western Diamondbacks. It's pretty easy to tell Westerns because they all have this little black and white ring on their tail, like I was talking about earlier. But if you'll notice, this is a rattlesnake, but this is a blacktail. You find these guys, they actually come out of Mexico, but they're in all the southern half of New Mexico and the southern half of the southwest part of Texas. And they're called the blacktail. This little guy here, this is a full-grown blacktail. That's about as big as they get. This guy is a rock rattler. Again, that's about as big as they're going to get. This little guy that Scout's got here, this is a prairie rattler. A little prairie. See the marking? The prairie, his tail is brown and tan instead of black and white. Very seldom will ever see one of these little guys. They're real timid. They travel at night. They don't end up with other snakes. And they tell us that these guys will find one female and he'll follow us the rest of their life. Where the rest of them, they're dogs. They look for whatever they can find. You know, one night stands, they're famous for. But again, these are all rattlesnakes. If you read the book, it tells you in Texas there's 7 different species. This is 4 of them. The book says 7, but it's really 8. Because a few years ago, we started finding Mojave on the western half of the United States. On west of Texas. They came out of the Mojave Desert and they have migrated all the way Arizona, New Mexico, into Texas. And now they're as close to us as like Texas area. Coming in towards Big Springs, even Odessa. So now we're getting more Mojaves in. Mojave look a whole lot like the Western with a green spray can on it. You get the green tint still. And the Mojaves are the most dangerous rattlesnakes. The venom of the Western is what you call a hemotoxin. Works on blood and tissue. The Mojave has a lot of neurotic parts, so it's a hemo and neurotoxin. And the neuro part can make you, if you're bit by a Western, the flesh will start to rot out, and then one little drop will thin all the blood in your whole body. I mean, one drop. And it's enough that if you don't make it to the doctor, if you get in the vein, you'll start bleeding out of your eyes because your blood gets so thin. The Mojave, again, has the neurotoxin, but the hemo part of it can make different parts of your body not work no more. All your nerve endings start going out. You may not be able to walk or do anything because of that neuro part of it. So they're very, very dangerous. Before they got here, we had one called a timber rattler. The Mojave are like the Westerns. They could be 7 foot. This is 7 foot right here. They could be that long. Well, the timbers are usually about 72 inches maximum. But the timbers have a little pop in there too. And the reason that I'm emphasizing on this is if a Western gets you in your pretty good health, you could lose a limb, a finger, an arm. You could lose different parts of your body, but you're probably going to survive unless you're young or old or having some problem. Probably not. It's a mind, goes through your heart, like I really talk about it. You don't have somebody like with another table here. But when the gets on hobby or the tempers, about 6 hours. Rattlesnakes in general can do a lot of damage. There's more Westerns than any other. We've had some 84-inch snakes that are that long. I've personally seen one in this bit weigh 20 pounds. Yeah. So these are relatively small compared. They're bigger than most, but that's a huge snake. I've got some in here now that are probably 8 or 9 pounds. But the average in Texas is only 3 foot. 36. Let's see if I can get this guy to pop the balloon here in a minute. Kind of show you part of the stripe. They've been pretty cold, so it's hard to get them to.
Oh, I got that one.
He might pop one.
Me.
Again, I told you they work on heat. So with little tips on there, trying to get the heat on my body. If he can pick up the heat on the mouth, I'll probably feel like an oven in front of him. But the balloon's out here. So the balloon's just going to be in his way. And they're pretty slow today. That's a pretty slow strike.
What's the length of their strike?
About half of his body is what they tell us. Sometimes they'll strike hard enough to come off the table.
You got it.
For him to be able to pop that balloon, he actually has to unhinge his bottom jaw, drop his head, pull his fangs out, tilt his back, and lunge. And they'll do that in less than a second. Less than a second. We use this old slip top table for our advantage. We don't want him to have much traction. I keep my big old fan going, keep him cool. I want him real fast. Out in the wild, when it's like 70 degrees, a rough rock, it's 10 times faster. And I very seldom ever see them with their mouth open, coming towards me, and going back away. And they're that quick. We're real slow right now because we've got them, like I say, slow down as best we can. But this, like I say, an old textured rock gives me traction. And a lot of times when they strike, they'll come off the table. So I don't know how much length they've got. But I know it's enough. You're going up, climbing up the bluff, looking for arrowheads or pretty rock, whatever, some rock where they love you, you can be a 12-7 If they get high, you got a lot of high stuff in your one. Again, you want to stay away from the rattlesnake. Let's see if I can count it. Rattlesnakes usually have their young about September, sometimes October, depending on how the weather is. They know the weather better than our local weather channel, for sure. And they have them born alive. They have 25 babies at one time. We know for a fact that Westerns can live at least 25 years in captivity. some of the timbers has been 35 years. So these guys not good too. When the babies are born, okay, they're born alive. Mama doesn't do any nurturing. So their first job is to find something to eat. And they have to go right then and start looking for little fuzzy mice. They don't want little geckos. That's part of their diet. We figure that 25 babies, half of them become food for something else. Almost all the non-venomous snakes will eat rabbits. And there's over 150 species of non-venomous in Texas.
When you going to start milking them?
I'll get one here.
I'm sorry?
I'll do one for you.
Okay. I mean, if you got a specific time, I'll come back.
Nah, we're good. We just kind of do it on and off.
These are fresh from the field, right?
I'm not sure when they were brought in. Most of these came in Thursday night.
Whoa, whoa! I think my camera caught just Look at the teeth on that sucker.
One thing breaks off, another one comes right down in its place. He's got small teeth in the roof of its mouth, and they're all pointed backwards. So if it's eating a mouse, it can work it backwards. He's got two holes in the very top. It's called a Jacob hole. It runs its tongue out and then puts it up in there, and that's how it tastes the atmosphere.
Now, when they strike, when they make contact, when they go in like this, do they also pull? Or is it just go in, squish, and out?
Usually they hang up. A lot of times they'll hang up because they can't get the fangs back out that quick.
No.
And the jaws dislocate on the side, and in the front it's not together, it's just the skin that holds it together. So it can get a lot bigger.
Okay, we just got back from the Sweetwater Rattlesnake Roundup, and I hope you enjoyed my little video of it. My very first one, attempt to make a little bit longer video and put it on YouTube. If you like the video and everything, you know what to do to subscribe to my channel. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. You know how to do it. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Other than that, I'll make another video and we'll see what we can do on it. You take care of yourself and be safe. Bye-bye.